Hey everyone, welcome to this week's Big Brother Over the Top chat.
Episode 3. Wow.
Yay!
Seems like we've been playing much longer than 3
that's
episodes
because we
worth.
basically started right after the last season.
Okay.
Yeah, but anyway, this is a lot of fun.
Last time, yeah, it is. Last time Monty was evicted.
Yeah.
So Scott is freaking jumping right into Pimp Monty's empty spot in bed with the 4 girls.
Yeah, because before it was all Monty and the Pythons, and now it's Scott and all these girls.
All right, well, clearly America is running the game.
Last week, America was the deciding vote. So it's kind of a big deal.
Every America's nominee has gone home so far.
Yeah.
Scott is just doing Scott stuff.
That's what Neely said anyway.
Is he even playing?
He's just doing Scott stuff.
All right. It's HOH comp time, and it's BB barcode.
All
you have
right.
to find the longest bar.
It sounds so easy, but it's not, because a lot of them are so close in length, and there are so many of them, it's hard to keep track of which ones you've already measured.
The sides definitely teamed up, though.
Yeah, you
They're
could tell
working together.
very clearly who was working together. It was quite apparent.
Right. Well, in the 3rd round, Scott finally pulled it out of his anus, and he won.
Yay!
Alex
for
jumped
Scott.
on top of him and took his V card away.
No!
She was just like, ah!
No! Mayhem in the studio.
I know.
No, but then later she was all like, oh, I almost kissed you, and Scott was like,
His transition lenses kicked in.
oh, he must have been really excited.
All right, so the all-girl alliance this season is all weird talkers, except for Morgan. Except for Morgan, we've got and
Whitney.
America.
That's like Natalie. No, you know, Alex is like a normal talker for the most part, but then when she gets in that DR, she's like, Big Brother told me.
Yeah.
She gets a little crazy in there, but it's weird that they were talking about them finally solidifying this all girls alliance. They've been working together since the first week.
Yeah.
What are you guys talking about? But they changed their name officially, so maybe that's what they were talking about.
How would Scott feel if he knew about the ball smashers?
How does he not know about it? It's so obvious.
Oh my god.
It's so
I think he's
obvious.
just happy to be there with 4 vaginas.
I don't know.
All
Don't call him
right. Shane asked Scott, don't put up me and Danielle.
Oh my god, Shane has such a great social game.
Right? Oh my god, he's so vanilla.
He's like, Scott, don't put me up, and don't put Danielle up, and...
Scott's target is definitely Shane.
Yeah, the second Shane walked out of the room, he was like, you're going home next. Drink that Coke.
Yeah. So, Morgan and Alex, the
Again,
sisters.
this seems so obvious. How does no one see that they're sisters? Come on.
It's ridiculous.
Especially when they're both wearing their glasses and no makeup. They look so alike.
Best part of this little video package that they put together of them in the hammock was when Morgan got up and Alex fell on her ass.
That never gets old on the show.
I love watching people
Every
fall out of
season.
that hammock.
Every season.
All right, so it's time for America's Care Package. Get out to the backyard! It's going to Scott.
What?
Morgan caught it, but it really belongs to Scott.
Yeah, he had some tighty whities in there.
Whoa,
Jelly
where'd they get
beans.
those from?
Yeah, but more importantly, special power this week.
Pick a veto. You either get to choose the diamond veto, the double veto, or the boomerang veto.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not like he automatically gets the veto, but he does get to decide what type of veto everyone will be playing for this week.
Actually took a lot of strategizing.
It worked out in his favor, for sure. It made him change his strategy.
Yeah.
And he was telling Jason about that. But before we get to that...
Yeah. Hey, CBS, what the F was going on with this episode tonight?
The feeds were a mess! So much buffering. The spaghetti cat moment when the America's Have Not thing came up on the screen.
And wouldn't go away.
We definitely missed something here. There was some sort of showmance package that we didn't get to see.
Who cares, though, right?
Whatever. Whatever!
All right, so Jason and Scott, they have a little chat up in the HOH room.
So Scott's like, I'm not going to put up my actual targets because I'm going to use that double veto.
Yeah.
And
I'm really
I'm gonna change up my
surprised
strategy here.
that he is confiding in Jason because they're clearly not on the same side.
Yes, but Scott is a big fan of Jason. Scott also knows that America, a lot of viewers are fans of Jason.
Right.
So he wants to get in on that good side, you know?
Yeah, he's got to work that America angle too, I suppose.
So he's trying to get in closer with Jason, and this is a good time to do it for him.
All right, so Jason does not return the favor and goes right to Shane and says...
When they're in their underwears and hoodies.
Those weren't underwears. That was a bathing suit.
Shane's was underwear. Jason's was a bathing
suit with his mic in his ass crack.
That was a real crack pack, okay? Get that mic pack out of your crack.
Yeah, so he says, you know what? You better cover your rear entry because you're going to be backdoored.
Yeah, and Shane's just like,
what do you mean I'm going to be backdoored?
Scott sucks at this game.
All right. After the 2 safety ceremonies, we find out that Chrissy and Neely are nominated, and they are both possessed. Especially freaking Chris. Well, they both
were both really pissed, but Neely has been going off the rails this week.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And we find out that America has chosen Danielle as the 3rd nominee.
Late Night Jamboree was not expecting that.
Ooh, she had to retreat to that bed.
Yeah, but...
I'm feeling sick.
They also picked players for the Power of Veto. Scott drew the names, and the extra players are Alex and Justin.
This is not good news.
Not a good job for the Late Night Jamboree.
No, not at all.
I mean, Justin's in there, but he's kind of like floating between the sides right now.
Yeah.
So...
Neely called out the freaking plastics for shimmying.
Or ball smashers.
Yeah, or the ball smashers for shimmying.
Yeah.
So, I can see y'all. There's a mirror over by the
microwave. She said Shelby was like being all ignorant and dancing around with Scott in the bathroom.
Those heifers better stop it.
Oh my gosh. I just feel like it was blown way out of proportion, as it usually is on this show.
And Chrissy's all, oh, just wait till I get to that POV. I'm going to totally destroy it.
Alright, well let's talk about the POV competition.
It was a head-to-head knockout competition.
Yeah, Scott did not have to decide what type of veto he was going to pick until right before the competition. Like, he found out what it was, and then he chose. And he was like,
that makes
double
sense.
veto.
Yeah, that is definitely the best choice that he could have chosen, because Diamond would have been too much out of his
Putting a lot
control.
of power in somebody else's hands.
And Boomerang, who even knows what that is?
Okay.
Who even knows what that is? I've never heard of a Boomerang veto before.
Well, let's skip through a little bit and get to the ending here.
All right. They're up to the last matchup.
Yeah, so it was Justin, who...
Alex and Danielle left.
Right.
Justin hadn't gone yet.
It was Justin's responsibility to choose between Danny and Alex to face off against.
So
whoever he didn't pick would automatically win one of the vetoes.
Right, because there's 2 of them.
Right.
So Justin's no fool. He may look like an idiot and act like an idiot.
He doesn't look like an idiot.
Dancing around.
Well.
Come on. He's a jester. Let's put it that way.
All right.
He's my friend, though. All right? But I never have sex with him.
Stop!
My own boyfriend on the surface of every room
being
in the
Chrissy.
world.
Okay.
All right.
So, Justin picks Danielle, and she's just like, what? And Alex is like,
yeah.
Alex looked evil during this competition. She really did.
Justin is not an idiot. He knows that if he loses to Alex, there's a possibility that he's going to go up on the block as a replacement.
Yeah. I mean, he is in tight with Scott right now, but
there's
you never know what could happen.
guarantees.
And he does not trust Shane and Danielle.
No.
So he needs to guarantee his safety right here. So he faces off against Danielle. He wins.
She is totally pissed because she thought that he was going to throw it. So she had to go water the bushes after the competition. That was ridiculous. And Shane was totally like spooning her, but standing up, and it was so weird.
It was really weird and uncomfortable.
Really, really weird.
But anyway, Alex and Justin were the 2 veto winners.
Right. So So the late night jamboree minus the showmans has a little meeting.
They're like, we need to figure out what we're going to do here.
Let's get rid of Danielle. Okay.
They feel like Danielle is a bigger threat to them down the line. They think that she's going to be a liability, and they're like, you know what? We should just cut her now.
Moving forward, I think we can just
No!
Danielle. All right.
Well, it's time for the veto ceremony.
Longevity-wise.
It's not time for the veto ceremony.
No.
But
Justin says, I am going to use the veto on Chrissy.
and the
She's my
plastics are
friend.
like, all right.
For sure.
That works for us because they want to put up Shane anyway. So Alex is like, I'm not going to use my veto because they don't want to get too much blood on their hands.
And Shane's going to be the replacement.
Yeah.
So there is a plan in place to get Shane out.
Yeah.
According to Scott.
There was a whole thing this week that they didn't show about, fooling the other side, that they were going to vote out Danielle so that they would vote out Danielle.
They showed it a little bit.
Yeah, I know. But it was like a big deal. It was a big deal.
Scott definitely had a personal vendetta against Shane. He had tunnel vision.
He was talking on and on about that 4-person alliance that they formed on the first night with Monty, Cornbread, Shane, and Scott.
He's a snake. He's a snake hole. You gotta get rid of him.
So now Scott's like, Shane's gotta go because he turned his back on that group. And I think, honestly, Scott wanted to be the last person standing from that alliance.
Right. All right, so it's time for the veto meeting.
Okay.
What's Danielle got to say? It's my 3rd time on the block. I just need like a few days off the block and to stay in the house. Chrissy. Oh my God, I didn't think anything could be worse than being on the block for the 2nd time in a row, but now it's even more gross because I'm up against these people that I totally care about. But
you having a good time?
Yes. Totally wouldn't have sex with them. Only with
Stop! All right.
Every minute of every day.
Neely says
him.
that the divide of the house is really gross, which is interesting because she contributes significantly to that divide. But she says that if they keep her, she can bridge the gap in the house.
She's going to build a bridge. It's going to be called Neely.
All right.
It's gonna be having a nice wig on, too.
Alex is up first, and she does not use her veto.
Because in a draw, she got first choice.
Okay.
So Justin says, my girl Chrissy, I'm going to save her.
It is your birthday, baby.
So he saves Chrissy.
Eat the cookie, Chrissy.
And Scott chooses Shane as the replacement.
Yes.
And Shane sits down all...
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Did you guys see Shane's live DR last night?
It was something.
All right. Well, anyway, let's skip ahead to the live eviction.
All right. Now it's time to plead for your life. Your big brother life.
Shit. Neely brought out the fun wig tonight.
She had a 2-layered wig on. It was like they ran out of the red for the top part of it, and they had to fill it in with some blonde on the bottom.
At first, I thought it was literally 2 wigs layered, but it was 1 wig. But you know what? Good for her for, like, jazzing it up.
Because after this whole thing was over, it was laying on the sofa in the bathroom barking.
All right. Anyway.
All right. I care about y'all.
I know I'm not in danger this week. Whatever. Yeah. Okay. Next, Danielle.
I love my son and Shane. I'm so lucky to have met you and everybody else in the house, and I want to see you outside the house.
What the frig was Shane's speech? What was going on there?
I know I'm going home.
I'm not gonna hug you, like, if you don't vote for me, and, yeah, like, you messed with the wrong person.
And Danielle, I'm gonna be waiting outside the door, literally outside the door.
He probably would.
The whole time until you get voted off next week.
Shane, you can't be here anymore. You gotta go. All right, so then Scott was like, Monty felt the same way about, like, messing with the wrong people.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Okay, so then it was time for the vote.
Yeah, and it was a 4-4 tie, which means that the Plastics, aka Ball Smashers, all voted to get rid of Shane.
On the other side, the Late Night Jamboree voted to get rid of Danielle.
And America sided with the Late Night Jamboree, and it was a tie. So Scott got to break the tie.
Which he was looking forward to.
Yeah. I think he really did relish this a little bit too much.
He did. And then he started to make a little speech. And Shane was just like, that was so rude. So rude.
And Scott was like, I have to make my little speech.
I don't think he had to, but...
Yeah. He was just like...
It was rude of Shane to do that.
The moment I saw you drink that potion, I knew you'd either be my best friend or my worst nightmare.
Okay. So that was it.
Like something you would say to an ex-girlfriend.
He voted out Shane, and that's what happened.
Shane left. People cried a lot.
Chrissy was out of control. Chrissy, I don't know if Chrissy has ever seen an episode of the show before.
Yeah, I know. So she was...
People go home.
Yeah.
They don't die. It's okay.
She was hanging out in one of the bedrooms. Scott came over, tried to, like, smooth things over, and she was like, get away from me. Don't pretend to like me, because you don't have to do that. I don't like that fake shit.
Scott's trying to explain it's just a game. It's not, life or death. Relax.
I really hope that when we get outside of this house, we can play Call of Duty.
Why are you being Chrissy as Scott?
I don't know.
Scott was like, honestly, like, I hope that me and Shane and Monty are all playing video games outside here. I want to play Call of Duty. I want to play Halo. What?
I want to play with you, Chrissy.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's where we're at right now.
That was pretty amazing.
So it's time to go watch the HOH competition because Paul is going to be hosting.
Oh, shit.
Yes.
I'm ready for this. Let's get dessert and go watch that.
Let us know what you guys thought in the comments.
And until next time,
Much love.